What's up guys, Sam Legend here, back again with another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and in today's video we are going to be going over the breakdown of the Kizuna Clash versus Alber, which is going to be coming out in a couple days from this point on. So we're going to be going over the 10-star difficulty and the Super Boss in two separate videos, going over the 10-star in this one and the 15-star in the next video, so just stay tuned for that there. Now, looking at the gimmicks for this Kizuna Clash, it's pretty difficult if you don't have the new units. If you didn't pull or you didn't get lucky enough to get the new units, this is going to be pretty difficult for you guys. Unfortunately, that's just how they're making content nowadays, which does really suck for a lot of players. But we're going to have to deal with it for right now. So we're going to be going over all the variations. Obviously, do like we usually do, accessible, pay-to-win teams, and two for each variation. So without any further ado, let's get started. So going over the very first team here with the very first variation here being the strength variation with free spirit and slashers getting the cooldowns here. So the way this team works is not the team, but the breakdown on stage 2. We're going to be having to deal with 5 turns of special bind, and our slots are going to be changed into unfavorable slots. On the final stage, we're going to be dealing with, it looks to be a 10% HP cut for our team, which doesn't really make too much sense because we already get the spirit on that stage 2, so I don't know why. I mean, that's whatever, I guess. Anyway, 10% damage reduction, 10% damage health cut, sorry, or 10% health cut. I mean, I'm fumbling my words here, sorry. And then 8 turns of despair and 5 turns of paralysis. Both of those zeros are going to be 5 turns with despair and sockets and everything. And then for the barrier, it's going to be a tandem slot barrier, just one, so that's pretty cool. And then on the level 31 plus gimmicks, both despair and paralysis do get bumped up to 6 turns. And then the enemy is going to change into either being a dex character or it's going to stay as a strength character, so you really want to make sure that you have a good array of strength and quick characters on your team so you're able to deal with the boss, whatever color he becomes. So the way this first team is going to be working here, we are going to be using Shanks' crew as our captain alongside the friend captain Zoro. So the way this is going to work, Shanks' crew is able to just bypass special bind completely for the rest of the team, so we are able to just avoid it completely. And then for our slot changing stuff happening here, we are going to be using a very weird unit here, Luffy Zoro, because I say weird, but I don't really use him a lot. So the way Luffy Zoro is going to work is, for one, their special is able to give us an orb boost and a chain lock, which wouldn't really matter because our slots are going to be unfavorable. But with the support of 20th anniversary Usopp, he's able to actually change those unfavorable slots into recovery slots. And if you've already activated the Enma gauge thing for Zoro, you are able to get basically a full board of Wano slots with that. So that's actually a pretty cool combination there of using the 20th anniversary Usopp alongside for our friend Captain Zoro. So that's pretty cool there. Now on stage 3, we're going to be using the units of the Luffy, not Luffy, what's his name? Law, the super type, not super type, the rare recruit from this first super type batch, Law there, who's able to actually remove despair and paralysis by 5 turns. And then the Corazon support is able to get rid of at least 2 more turns of that, so you are able to actually get rid of all turns of despair and paralysis. Now for the damage output for this team here, we're going to be using Shanks' Crew special while he's the quick unit to get for one, a really good chain lock, and 2, a really good base attack boost for the rest of our team here. Now, the treasure map Momonosuke is here solely because he does give a really good orb boost for slasher characters, meaning a 2.75 times orb boost, which is pretty cool. Now, the Hirogoro, this is the treasure map Hirogoro, and what he does is that he is able to give us a color fading boost for our characters, and the Zoro there is to give us the attack boost, and that's really it. That's the whole damage for the team. We have the chain lock, base attack boost, orb boost, color affinity, and the attack boost. We also do have the ability to change Zoro's Wano slot into a tandem slot, so we are able to actually break that barrier there. So that's a really cool thing he has going on with the special there. So that's really it for this first team. Alright, so for this next team, looking at versus Yamato and Luffy Yamato as our captains here. So the way this team is going to be working here on stage 2, to deal with the special bind and the unfavorable slots, we do have Ace and Saba on the crew, being able to actually reduce the special bind by 5 turns, also giving us an orb boost and some matching slots with their swap ability. Now, do note that I do have Luffy with the Sanji support on the crew, I'd actually just replace that unit with the quick killer from the final tap batch, just because of the fact that with that Luffy on the crew, you will not be able to get Luffy Yamato's orb boost, because Ace and Sawa's orb boost is going to take precedence because it'll become a 3-turn orb boost. So I just replace that Luffy with kill support and put like New Year's Nami on the Yamato there, so that we can actually get rid of the paralysis, and the other two units I'm about to talk about will get rid of the spare alongside the killer there. So the next unit we'll be looking at is the login bonus unit from the One Piece Odyssey login bonus event they had going on. The character's name is like Lim or something like that. What she does is actually pretty interesting. If you have a damage reduction on your crew, I think it is, you will be able to get a chain boundary, a really good chain boundary too for a free-to-play unit. So the way we're going to be using this is that when we get to the last stage, we have Luffy Yamato special. We can activate that, and that would actually provide us with damage reduction. So with that, we can activate her special after that, and then get a chain boundary. Alongside that, we do have Kawamatsu, who's able, both of these characters are able to get rid of the spare, but obviously we have versus Yamato here, so we don't have to worry about that whatsoever. But the Kawamatsu here is able to give us a color affinity boost for our free spirit, actually basically our whole team, as long as we have an attack boost on our team. Speaking of, versus Yamato is able to reduce our despair completely, and also give us an attack boost, a 3x attack boost, on top of the fact that they will be able to give us a damage reduction attack boost, which does go well in hand with Luffy Yamato being able to give us a 60% damage reduction alongside a 3x orb boost. So all these specials together should be enough to be dealing quite a bit of damage to the enemy here, and probably should be lasting a very, very long time. For this next team here, we're going to be looking at the quick variation of the Kizuna Clash, looking at Dex and quick characters getting the cooldown here. On stage 2, we have to deal with bind for our top and bottom rows for 8 turns, which does go down to 5 turns, and then our slots are changed to unfavorable recovery slots for 4 turns. So that's going to be kind of annoying to get around there. Now, the boss stage is going to have immunity to everything except for defense down, so you can actually use defense down conditional boosts in here and everything, so that's pretty cool. The boss is said to attack every 2 turns, and that's because they have a damage limiter for half of their health. So whatever their health is going to be at, whatever level you're going to be facing this boss in, the damage limit is going to be half of that health for 2 turns. Now there are various ways to get around that, so we're going to talk about those in a little bit. Now, the other buffs we got to worry about, or debuffs, is going to be defense up and resilience, for both of them being 5 turns. And then after level 31, both of those buffs get upped by 1, so they become 6-turn buffs for the enemy. Now, the way we're going to be getting around this is by using this team for the accessible team, using 6+V1 Frankie, who is actually getting a lot of shine here because we've been getting a lot of damage limiter stuff for this whole 9th anniversary. We had in the Blitz battle, we just had it in Trench Map, and now we're getting it for the Kizuna Clash here. So versus Frankie is getting a lot of shine here because he's able to actually bypass that damage limiter. Now for the team here, we're going to be using him alongside Straw Hat Crew. And the reason we're doing that is because, if you don't know already, Straw Hat Crew just makes things a whole lot easier. He makes all specials, most specials rainbow, and he also is able to bypass resilience by his final tap, so that's pretty cool. Now we also have the other units here. Now for the stage 2 bind, we do have the Dex Free Spirit, I think fighter Sanji from the 8th Annie batch, who does have the ability to reduce bind by 5 turns and also give us a chain boost. But also they do have a very important support on their self, being the 6+ Germa, that will change, that will activate upon slot changing. So when the enemy changes our slots, the support activates to actually give us a full board of tandem slots and then make them beneficial, so that we don't have to really worry about recovery slots whatsoever, and we don't, it's just basically done deal right there. Now, before you activate that Sanji special, you probably should activate Frankie special. Well, for me anyway, I'm gonna have to do that because I don't have my Frankie level limit break max, so I won't be able to get like the really good special out of him. But the unlevel limit break special is basically just a random slot change unless your slots are matching, and then a 2x orb boost, or not orb boost, an attack boost. So we're gonna have to use that special first and then Sanji special. Well, then again, we'll probably get our slots changed anyway. So actually just scrap that. We do have another special ability to activate, which is going to be Dogstorm. The Sulong Dogstorm does give it an attack boost anyway, so we can just use this attack boost anyway to get the attack boost and the chain boost, matching slots, and then we can go on about our day there. Now, on the final stage, we're going to be using basically everyone else except Frankie there. So we do have the Orb Boost from the Dogstorm, which you do get by hitting 2 perfects on the last stage. And then we have the attack and chain boost from the 6+ Sabo, the Dex Sabo character right here. A really good character to use in this fight right here, just to get some more damage output there. And we also have the Kizuna Clutch 5+ Blackbeard, who's able to actually reduce the defense of the enemy to 0, and is able to give us a conditional boost and a base attack boost for all of our fighter characters, which in this case on the Straw Hats is for everybody. So with this, we have a lot of damage here, but just make sure that before you start attacking, you activate Frankie's captain action to do the docking thing or whatever. And with this, all of our fighter characters are able to bypass the damage limiter and basically just ignore it as if it just didn't exist and everything. So that's pretty cool. The only thing we don't have on here is a color affinity booster. I may try to add one on here. I don't really know off the top of my head which one I should add. Maybe like I think there's a Treasure Map Chopper out there that does boost the color affinity of Dex characters, so I may add that there. I have no idea yet, but we'll see in the actual playthrough of the video what I actually did for color affinity there. And now for the pay-to-win side of this Kizuna Clash quick variation here, we do have the Super Tandem Luffy alongside the new Frame Captain Zoro. Now the way this team is going to be working is that we actually are going to be relying on having this Hiyori there, who is able to actually provide us with a lot for this team here. So the way Hiyori works is that her crewmate ability says that when you start any battle actually, or basically start the quest, you do get a full board of Wano slots. So this does go really well in tandem with the Frame Captain Zoro, because you do need to actually consume Wano slots to get his very good captain abilities. So we're going to be using her as a crewmate to just generate those Wano slots for us, and then on stage 2, hopefully we actually are able to get the slots, like at least 4 slots on the first stage and all 6 slots on the second stage there. Because Hiyori is able to actually provide us with bind removal in her special, and also being able to change all of our slots into Wano and then locking them for a turn, which is really good. Now we do have the support of Ashura Doji on Hiyori, just giving us an extra attack boost for our characters. We can also use the super type, or not super type, the super class of Luffy there to be able to give us a base attack boost, so that we can actually deal a lot of damage to the enemy and just get past that stage there. So hopefully that does work out well. Now on the final stage, hopefully we have consumed all of our Wano slots that we need for Frame Captain Zoro to actually get the max captain ability. So we can activate his captain action on that stage, and then we can use basically everyone else to try and beat this enemy here, because with the Frame Captain Zoro, you basically get to ignore damage limiter, and he does become effective against all types, which is really cool. He's also able to inflict increased damage taken to the enemy by tapping on the enemy while he has a tandem or Wano slot or something like that. So that's pretty cool. And then his special does give an attack boost and a conditional attack boost against increased damage taken enemies. Alongside this, we have the Luffy giving us the Orb boost, and then we can use Sanji's special to actually switch him to the captain spot, because he does have a higher captain ability multiplier than Luffy does, and he's able to provide a chain boundary and a chain boost and base attack boost with his special and super class put together. Now I do have the Onami support on him, but he actually does remove defense up from his own special, so we don't really need that. Alongside this, we do have Zoro being able to give us the color affinity boost. We can actually just change this into like koalas, Treasure Map Koala, and get the bigger color affinity boost. I think being like a 2.5 color affinity boost, that's pretty good. We also have the Roger. This is the Kizuna Clash 5+ Roger. He's able to get rid of the resilience for us, so that's really kind of all he's there for. So with this team, we have the attack boost, conditional boost, increased damage taken, orb boost, base attack boost, chain boundary, and chain boost. and we have kill affinity, and basically a way to get around the boss gimmicks there. So this team should be doing a lot of damage and should be lasting a really long time, especially with the fact that we will be able to get off Super Tandem with this team. So on top of that, we were just going to be doing tons and tons of damage. And now for the final variation, looking at the PSY variation, where Free Spirit and Driven characters are going to be getting the cooldown here. Now on stage 2, we do have to worry about Despair for 8 turns and our slots being changed into block orbs. And then on stage 3, the reason that we have to worry about the Despair is because on stage 3, if you're not at full HP, you will get an extra gimmick, and that gimmick being Intimidation, probably one of the worst gimmicks in the game if you ask me. So on stage 3, also on top of that, we also have to worry about Paralysis for 5 turns, One slot barrier, and our type slots being changed into Paralysis slots. If you don't know how that works, basically when you tap on a slot, when you tap on a character that has a Paralysis slot, you get inflicted with Paralysis. So that's pretty cool, I guess. I mean, fun times there. But on top of that, after level 31, that Paralysis gets up by 1 turn, so it becomes 6 turns. And then instead of Paralysis slots, we actually get Super Block slots for our type slots. So we're going to have to worry about a lot on the stage. So we got to avoid having type slots. We also have to walk into that boss with full HP so we don't get intimidated. Now, what we're going to be doing here is, as you can see, I do have Versus Kaido and Moria on here, but I'm pretty sure what I was trying to do was actually use King as our friend captain, so we can just change that into King right there, and that'll be all fine and dandy. So the way we're going to be worrying about this is on stage 2, the Despair is going to be removed by the Kuma support on Moria, and our block slots will be changed by the Hachi there. So really old unit. I don't really use this unit a lot, so this is pretty cool that I'm actually able to use it here. What he's able to do is actually give us a full board of recovery slots, which under King does get changed into Wano slots. And then with Moria Special and Super Type, we're able to get an Orb Boost, and we get to lock those slots for a turn so we can carry it into the boss room. And on top of that, after a turn, or after some number of turns, Moria does give you a color affinity boost for your Driven and Powerhouse characters. Now, to get around the HP threshold gimmick thing, we do have Treasure Map Pudding on our team. Now, Pudding is really good here because she's able to give us full HP, and that will allow us to actually ignore the intimidation that would have been put on us if we didn't walk into the room at full HP. Now, for the other units on the team, we do have the Kaido there. This is the Kaido from the Blitz battle that will actually get a super evolution in this Kizuna clash. So whenever you get those skulls, you can actually just replace that. You can super evolve that unit, and you actually get a better special out of him. Because right now, all he does provide is a 2.25 times orb and attack boost for Driven and Powerhouse characters. So he's actually not that bad. But when you super evolve him, I think it becomes like a 2.5 for those two classes or whatever. So that's pretty cool. And then the Treasure Map component there is actually pretty good, being able to give us paralysis reduction. He does provide it, but he does give it by 6 turns, so we are able to actually get past level 31 by removing all 6 turns of paralysis. And then with the King, if you don't know already, he does a really good chain boost. He also has a really good super type, being able to provide I think it's a 1.5 multiplicative boost, so that's pretty cool. And with all this damage here, we should be killing this boss very easily. And now for the last team here, being the pay-to-win team. Now, already looking at this, there are better ways to build this team, but I think this one seems more comfortable to me. So we have Double King here, and with Double King, you are able to basically just ignore Despair completely, because he does remove his own Despair completely. So you don't have to worry about that whatsoever. You don't have to worry about the behavioral change with the HP and everything. So that's pretty good. Now, the way we're going to be using this team is on stage 2. We can activate Yamato Special to actually give us a full board of Wano slots, and then we can use the Custer support when you activate the special to give us the slots locked for a turn. Now, on stage, you also can activate one of the King Special, I guess, if you want to. But I think I may actually save it for the next stage, and I'll probably get into why in a minute. Now, actually, no, I won't be able to save it. Never mind. So yeah, you can use one of the King specials on the stage 2. I just realized that I can't do what I was thinking of doing. So on stage 3, we're going to be using basically everyone else on stage 3. First, we're going to use Killer's special to give us the color affinity boost and give us the I think it's like a base attack boost and also an overrideable attack boost, which is pretty good because we have Kid on the crew, and what Kid does is that he is able to provide an attack boost, and if you already have an attack boost, he's able to provide an orb boost. So with this right here, with the overrideable attack boost, the way it works, it does count as having an attack boost, while also being overridden by Kid's attack boost, and we also get the orb boost from that. So we do have the 2.75 times orb boost from, attack boost from Kid, and also a 2.5 orb boost from Kid himself again. He's also able to give us that little like chain growth rate thing. I don't know how to shorten that up, but that's the boost he also gives too, which is pretty cool. We have Capone again to get rid of the paralysis, and then King is going to be able to give us the chain boost, and we really don't have a way to get the chain, what's it called, the chain multiplicative boost from a super type. One little strat you probably could use is probably replacing that Capone with Who's Who, the rare recruit Who's Who, the int one, and putting Black Maria, the Legend Black Maria support on that character, so that he's able to actually get rid of the paralysis by 6 turns in total. And then with that, you're able to actually activate King's super type special to get the 1.5 multiplicative boost, and also get it super typing. So this team should be doing a lot of damage here too. Obviously, if you have like Queen, Jack, and versus Kaido all together and everything, which probably is a more ideal team, that should also work fairly well. The only problem being is that while you do get more damage output with versus Kaido as a captain, because he does buff all your specials, you do run the risk of having to bring in the Despair Reducer, because of the fact that, well, on top of that, and also bringing someone to fill you up at full HP, because of the fact that you do get intimidated here. And I don't know if it removes buffs that can't be blown away or not, because if you don't know already, King's chain boost cannot be blown away by any of the enemies. So I don't know if intimidation does work on those kind of like specials. We'll have to see in the Kizuna Clash, and if it does, then obviously I'll probably optimize this team to work with the other units that I also have in mind for this variation. But that's really it for this video. Like I said, we're going to be going over the super boss in the next video, so stay tuned for that. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and I will see you guys in the next video.